Good morning, everyone. I invite you to make your way to your seats this morning. Come gather in. Before we begin our soul singing today, I invite those of you joining us online to grab a chalice or candle so you can light with us when we light our chalice this morning. I invite you to grab one of our silver hymnals, Rise in Body or Spirit, and together we will sing number 323, Break Not the Circle. That's 323. Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not that circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will that human bonds remain unbroken. Join then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
Good morning. It is a good morning. You know, Steve came up to me today and said, you know, the air conditioning doesn't have to be on as high today because it's just cooler in here. So that's fabulous, fabulous. Well, welcome to our multi-platform space here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Miami, or as we affectionately call it, UU Miami. As a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association, or UUA, we bring a liberal religious voice to the great city of Miami. I want to take a moment before we move more deeply into the service today to recognize World AIDS Day. It was December the 1st. You might know that, or you might not know, that Miami ranks among the top 10 metropolitan areas for HIV diagnosis rates in the United States. I do encourage you to seek out more information about how you might be able to help reduce these numbers. And Luigi might be a good person to touch base with. He's in the back. So if you want to ask him some questions, he'd be glad to help you out. I am Reverend Tom Capo, the minister here at UU Miami. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I am I want to say middle-aged, but I think I passed that, white, cis male, and I'm wearing my first Christmas tie, maybe my second Christmas tie of the season. As I mentioned to somebody earlier, it's purple and has a little Santa Claus going across the top, but this is I start with the more subtle Christmas ties and becomes more explicit as the season goes on. Hopefully, bringing the season to fruition by Christmas Eve. Up on the chancel with me today is Joseph Toledo, and he's playing the piano. Obviously, he's great at that. And Carly Pulaski, who you met, she's going to be leading our hymns this morning. Every Sunday, we take a moment to acknowledge that we gather on the traditional lands of the Tequesta, Seminole, and Miccosukee people, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who stewarded it for generations. You know, as we say that, I invite you to think, What does that mean to you? To acknowledge the land, and that we are called to continue to learn how to be better stewards of this land. I think it's important for us to think about that and how that might manifest in our lives, what we might do or how we might honor those who have stewarded this land for generations. UU Miami is a community of brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers, and we invite you to learn more about us. You can go to Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, our webpage, or you can talk to somebody with a yellow lanyard, usually yellow or orange now lanyards. We have those two now. Or myself. You could talk to me or send me an email at minister@uumiami.org. And if you've attended the services for a while, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 times, we'd love for you to join me next week during lunch to talk about what membership means. I'll be there. We'll have a few members of the congregation there as well. And we'd love you to think about membership, what it means to you, what it means to us, for you to join us as members. So I hope if you're new here, that you'll join us. Today's service is a little different. If you look, you have the order service. Hopefully some of you have the order service. You can see that it's a little different. We won't be saying unison affirmation today. We're not having joys and concerns. It'll return in 2 weeks. Next week is our pageant, and so that is going to be taking up the vast majority of our whole service time, with all kinds of puppets and performances and music and all kinds of stuff. So please be here for that. If you have a joy or concern that you'd like to express, that you feel that you need to, I'm certainly available to do that. You can call me or talk to me, or you can put it on our private Facebook page. Those of you who are members, if you're not on that, you can get on that. Today, our service will focus on covenant, the foundation of all Unitarian Universalist faith communities. We're all independent faith communities. The personal and communal promises that we make to one another and to ourselves that ground us in how we live out our faith. All right.
It is the custom in Unitarian Universalist congregations to begin our time together by lighting the chalice, a symbol of our religious tradition. These words were written by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Tanya Marquez. It is a wonder and mystery that our paths have crossed, that in the immensity of time, the vastness of space, we coincided here. I'm in awe at the ways in which our lives intersect and intertwine, at the beauty we create when we gather. May our coming together make us more compassionate, more just, more caring, and more loving. May our hearts and minds be open to this offering. I am so glad you are here. Let us worship. Let us marvel at the miracle of being here, right now, and the mystery that has brought us together. We might use our imaginations to imagine that this is lit, because I see not the lighter here. Again, the magic of being together. I promise that wasn't staged. And now this is the time in the service where we acknowledge our young ones going out to their RE classrooms. The words will be up on screen as we bless their procession out. May ears be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Before we start the first part of our service today, the prelude. So we are a communal organization. We all help each other make this service work. Go ahead, Joseph. I'm glad we didn't miss that. I was going to say, before we start this service, the meat of the service today, I want to tell you that this is your congregation. You own it. How we do things here, how we are with one another, this is up to you to decide. So as we move into this service, I just want you to know that we are not a congregation that is looking toward Boston and our general denomination to try to give us any kind of guidance in this other than best practices. This is really our decision about how we are and how we interact, how we choose to worship, how we live together. So I want to start by reading from a book called Not for Ourselves Alone, Theological Essays on Relationship, in which there's an article by Lisa K. Jennings called Open the Door and There Are the People. And this is from that article. The beginning of the concept of covenant, as we know it in the modern world, originated as a bond between God and their people, as chronicled in the Torah books of Genesis and Exodus. Being in covenant entails being in right relationship with the holy, that's the vertical in the, oh, did that go up already? Should be a picture of that. Think of a X and Y axis. Thank you very much. The X or vertical axis is dimension. Oh, there it is. Okay. Is our relationship with the holy, and the the horizontal relationship is with other people. Thus, right relationship involves, first and foremost, attending to the ways that we experience the holy. Paying attention to the holy can enlarge our gratitude and our generosity of spirit and help us prioritize that which is most important to us. The vertical dimension calls for us to attend to the hopes and dreams for the world. Okay. Over the past couple of months, this UU Miami congregation has created a covenant crafted by members and friends. These members and friends attended a covenant workshop, working together to find the core concepts for a congregational covenant statement. Then a few came together and wordsmithed this covenant statement. Today's service is your first time, perhaps many of you, to see the final results of this work. Before we read the covenant together, I want to point out a few of the things that we did during the workshop. We explored the explicit and implicit expectations of this community. Then I asked these questions of the people who participated. What are the things that you promised to this congregation? And what things do you want this congregation to promise to you? We were not looking for aspirational responses, but here and now answers to help us ground this congregation as we move into the future. Now we have another. Yeah. So the vertical dimension of our covenant and the covenant process represents the congregation's mission, vision, hopes, and dreams, which not only focuses on this congregation, what this congregation wants to become, but our hopes and dreams for a just, equitable, and peaceful world. The horizontal dimension represents our relationships with each other and between this congregation and the world beyond our walls. One question that I was asked by the group, and that I want to assure you that I'll answer later in the service, was, what meaning will this covenant have in a community that is not perfect, where promises will be broken? Leading to the question, if we are to give meaning to this covenant, how will we hold one another accountable to living these promises in community? And what about the promises that were broken in the past? How will they be addressed so that healing and reconciliation are possible? Again, I'll offer some thoughts on these questions, but ultimately, you all, the members and friends of this congregation, are the ones that will have to answer those questions. So let's take a look at the covenant. For those of you who have an order of service, it's on the back of your order of service. If you don't, there are some in the back. And let me start by saying that this is a living document. In no way is it set in stone. This covenant can change as the hopes and dreams we hold for ourselves and the world change. But I will tell you, at the end of this service, you will be invited to commit to and live this covenant as it is written, understanding that this is a place for us to start. We will revisit it over time to see if it still supports our embodiment of who we want to be as a community. All right, I hope you take a look at it. But we're going to start by not only reading it, we're going to read it aloud and see how it feels to give voice to these promises. So if you will join me, it's on 2 slides. So this is the first slide, and it'll come to the second slide, so we'll read the whole thing. So if you'll join me. This is our covenant. So you could say it too. This is our covenant. We are open, welcoming community who embodies respect, kindness, compassion, and curiosity. We foster a safe space that invites others to express their authentic, creative selves and unique ideas. Anyone else? Okay. We build relationships with one another by listening deeply with understanding and respect. We make a positive difference in our community using our combined time, talents, and treasure. We are committed to embracing, learning, growing, and change. Just a minute. Notice how that feels as you said it. Now, I wanted to let you know I'm going to say it again. You don't have to say it this time. And I want you to just kind of, close your eyes, kind of let it sink in and see how it feels. This is yours. This is your covenant with each other and with the world beyond these walls, and see if it fits for you this morning. That's where we are. This is our covenant. We are an open, welcoming community who embodies respect, kindness, compassion, and curiosity. We foster a safe space that invites others to express their authentic, creative selves and unique ideas. We build relationships with one another by listening deeply with understanding and respect. We make a positive difference in our community using our combined time, talents, and treasure. We are committed to embracing, learning, growing, and change. Now, we have a microphone up here. And those of you who wish may come up and share a sentence or two about the meaning these promises hold for you and or for this community. Let us keep in mind that these promises are created to help propel each and all of us towards something larger than ourselves, thus inviting transformation into our personal and communal lives. Those of you who wish to come up and share, please do so now. Thank you, Bob, for starting us out.
And I believe we make a position difference in our community. We build relationships with one another by listening deeply with understanding and respect. And we have to accept the fact that other people may disagree with us, but here I'm committed to doing my best to get along with everyone. And sometimes it's tough to do that. But let's all do the best that we can to get along, because I love this place. I've been a member here over 50 years, and it's my tribe.
I wasn't going to come up here, but I can't stand silence, so it's just going to force me to it. I like it. I wasn't a part of this workshop, so whoever it was, great job. I would love to see the word trust somewhere in here, because I think it all starts with trusting one another and trusting that we are all coming from a good place. It's easy sometimes to misunderstand someone or assume the worst, and when in doubt, I try to assume the best, particularly of the people in my family and in my community. So if we can somehow, I don't know if it's wordage or just emphasizing those points, I think it'd be fantastic. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning. I'm CJ Weber, and I want to draw everyone's attention to the second to last statement. We make a positive difference in our community by using our combined time, talents, and treasure. And focusing in on talents, this is, one more time, I will say, number one, I hear a lot of you on Sunday morning singing, and it sounds great. And that's my shameless plug for getting more of you into the choir. Thank you.
Good morning, James Miller. The word respect is used twice in the document that was just presented. But the definition for that word is often very, very nebulous and difficult for people to grasp. Generally speaking, if you use transactional analysis, you could say that we enter into a contract that we fulfill with people who also enter into that contract, and they fulfill their part as well. We should always be careful with contracts because it can break people apart or it can bring them together. And that's my thought. I don't want to see people broken apart because they're trying to fulfill a contract that somebody else doesn't quite understand or agree with. There needs to be a lot of discussion here from individuals about what we are entering into and what we expect from others. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, Brian Pontier. I think that the words that are put forth certainly embody who we aspire to be. But I do worry that if we don't address explicitly events that have happened in the past and have been particularly harmful, that, as Javi said, trust is not something that really exists among everybody who's in this congregation at this point, and then something like this just remains purely aspirational.
Sure. There is certainly history in this congregation, and I'll talk more about it later in the service, that, how we are with one another is a challenge because we are not perfect beings. And this is our best attempt to create something unique and special for this congregation at this time that will help us to move forward. So I'm going to move us forward. I want to thank those of you who shared this morning. I've took some notes, and I will continue. As I said, this is a living document, so we will continue to co-create it as time passes.
For those of you joining us online, I invite you to take out your smartphone, open the camera app, and direct it at the QR code. It will open to the UU Miami donation page, or you're welcome to go on to uumiami.org and click the donate button. Please check if the donation is a donation or part of your pledge to our congregation. This will allow our treasurer to allocate funds properly. Those of you here in the sanctuary, there will be a basket passed around, or of course you can utilize our fabulous technology. Today, you will have the opportunity not only to donate to this congregation, but also to Chainless Change. One of our many partner organizations, Chainless Change, serves those impacted by criminal justice involvement by offering basic resources, advocacy, peer support, mentorship, workforce development, housing, educational, and vocational training, as well as scholarships. They are committed to reducing recidivism and strengthening the fabric of society through advocacy and support for individuals and families impacted by the criminal justice system. This congregation, this community, is sacred to so many of us, a place of memory and hope. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, the work we do in the world, for we are now keepers of the dream.
I feel like I should be on a magic carpet or something. I don't know. All right. So, in the book, Who Needs God, by Rabbi Harold Kushner, he writes, emphasis on person-to-person relationships becomes important in a church or congregation because it is so rare in society. Our place of worship offers us a refuge, an island of caring in the midst of a hostile, competitive world. My friends, it is in this place that we aspire to be able to be as authentic as we can and be able to take risks. Here, we can be more certain about being vulnerable in a community that holds a covenant with one another. So we come back to the questions. What structures will be put in place to hold one another accountable to these living promises that we make today in this community? And I guess I would want to say, too, that this is not a perfect covenant. It is what has been created at this time. And we may add and we may subtract as time passes. But it is what can hold us now. And so what do we do if promises are broken? In the present, or those that have been broken in the past? How will they be addressed so that healing and reconciliation is possible? So I did some research, and did you know that the congregation has a policy manual? How many people knew that? Okay, well, I did. I looked it up. And, you know, people were really thoughtful about creating this thing. And there was some really good information in there. And I gained some insight into how we might address some of these questions. So let me share those with you. And again, think about these, because ultimately this will be your decision. When we observe someone being out of covenant, go talk to them. One-on-one. Whether it be somebody in the congregation or the minister or staff or anybody. Anonymous complaints will not be addressed. You might have to agree on an acceptable time and place to talk in private with the person or persons you feel is out of covenant. This is not a public event. This is a private thing that people do one-on-one or with one and whoever is involved. Use I statements. Use active listening. Be sure that you understand one another, and particularly focus on the impact of the behavior. We're not discussing the intention of the behavior, the impact, how it impacts that person or this community. If conversation is difficult, you might put it down in writing before you talk to someone. And if you feel unsure, uneasy, or you feel that safety is an issue, ask a third party to help. I can help the minister, or we're creating a right relations committee to serve as a mediator to provide a safe environment for the discussion. How does that sound? Some version of this process might give this congregation some guidance in holding one another accountable to the promises we covenant. Starting one-on-one conversation. We are in relationship with each other. But I know how difficult it can be when a person is trying to tell someone else, you know, you're out of covenant. That can be uncomfortable. That's difficult. And you might feel unsafe. And that's okay. There are people available here that you can turn to help you. I said the minister and the Right Relations Committee, certainly. But we're all in this together. And we're reestablishing that Right Relations Committee to be available. We're still working out this process. It is something we are working out together, but we want this covenant to hold us in love and caring and trust. In the here and now, and for things that have happened in the past. And what do we do about those things that happened in the past, where people were hurt, where the impact still influences this congregation and some people here in this congregation? What do we do about that? Do we ignore it? Do we move forward with it? Do we try to address it in some way? I'll tell you what I think. And again, you all ultimately will have to make this decision. But I believe that addressing past issues where there was a breach of confidence belongs to the person who was impacted. So if that person was somehow negatively impacted by something that happened, it is up to them to reach out and initiate that process. I'm willing to discuss any issues left unresolved, and soon so will our Right Relations Committee. And we're available for private conversations anytime we've experienced an impact where a person was out of covenant. And we talk about there, how do we reach reconciliation, reach getting back into covenant, back into a loving, beloved community with one another again. And I can't tell you a for sure way of how that's going to happen or what that looks like, because it's really based on every single situation that occurs. But I will say, as a community, we must be aware of the impact of whatever behavior that is out of covenant, past or present. For us to feel safe, for us to feel connected, for us to be authentic with one another, for us to trust one another, for this to be a place where you can be your whole self. My friends, for this covenant to mean anything, we all must affirm it, embody it, and hold ourselves and each other's to it. In so doing, this community will strengthen its commitment to being a place where we can truly be ourselves, where we can take risks, and where we can be more certain of who we are and who we can be.
Hey you guys, Leah here. So I'm gonna sing a song for you. And it's cool if you just wanna listen, but it'd be great if you feel like singing along or maybe doing the moves that I'm gonna do. You might even want to add other words into it. Peace, love, joy. It's important that we embody these messages, that they become part of who we are, so that when we go into the world, we're not out looking for peace, looking for love, looking for joy, that we are that, and that we bring it to every situation that we enter. Peace is not off in the distance. Peace is part of our existence. Peace be with me, peace before me, peace to the right of me, peace behind me, peace to the left of me, peace above me, peace below me, peace within. Peace be with you, peace before you, peace to the right of you, peace behind you, peace to the left of you, peace above you, peace below you, peace within. Peace be with us, peace before us, peace to the right of us, peace behind us, peace to the left of us, peace above us, peace below us, peace within. Peace be with us, peace before us, peace to the right of us, peace behind us, peace to the left of us. peace above us, peace below us, peace within, peace within, peace within, peace within.
For those of you who don't know, that was Leah Morris, and she has performed for us in years past, and she may be back here in the spring. We're working that out right now. She's a fabulous composer and really well respected in Unitarian Universalist circles. Again, I want to read something from Lisa K. Jennings' article. One of the powerful rudiments of covenant for Unitarian Universalists is that we make it freely. We choose the commitments we have within our hearts and the promises we make as a community. So, my friends, today we have the opportunity to embrace an awesome and empowering decision, making explicit our shared centers of value and power in our covenant. That's what makes us different than other creedal religions. They tell us what to believe. They tell people what to believe. Ours is our decision. And so today, each of us are invited to come up and to sign this covenant, to affirm and empower it as a congregation. This covenant will be hung in the sanctuary, and we'll say it aloud on Sunday mornings to continue to affirm it and empower it as a community. Again, it's a living document. It may change over time, but it is our place to start. And so I ask you, I invite you, if I can, I encourage you to please come forward and add your signature to this covenant that we might start with this today. And I will start. By our signatures, we have affirmed and empowered this covenant. Let us now bless it. I invite you to find a space that feels right for blessing, for meditation, for prayer, reflection, whatever that space feels like for you. Your feet might be firmly on the floor, your breathing comfortable and at ease, your eyelids resting or closed. And breathe. Breathe in. And as you breathe in, feel your connection to the members and friends, visitors of this Unitarian Universalist congregation. And as you breathe out, thank those members and friends of UU Miami who drafted and signed this covenant. Breathe in, and as you breathe in, hold in your heart and mind the meaning of embodying this covenant as a congregation. And as you breathe out, give thanks for this covenant and the impact it will have on the lives, individually and collectively, in this congregation. Breathe in and feel in your hands the power to bless. And as you breathe out, bless this covenant. Know that this power to bless is within all of us. It is only a breath away. You are sacred. And that energy runs through your hands, through the hands of all Unitarian Universalists gathered here. You are part of the interdependent web of all existence. And this covenant is made sacred because of you. Because of you. And because of your blessing. Amen. Blessed be. And namaste.
I invite you to once again rise in body or spirit and join me in singing in our teal hymnal, number 1023, Building Bridges. We'll sing it 3 times through. Building I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Well, now we come to the announcements and gratitudes. First, I want to again thank all of you who made this service possible. Luigi, who lit the chalice, and Joseph, who reminded me of the prelude, and I mean, we all contributed to make the service work today. And it's amazing. It's amazing to me that it doesn't have to be just one person making the service. Well, I also want to thank the church board, committees, the people who put this covenant together, Cheryl, our business manager, all the child care workers, Jessica, who is putting together something that will be amazing for you for next week, who teaches in our religious exploration program, Derek, who runs our live stream. Has he put his hand out there? There he is, okay. Hyro, who's in the back, who runs our marketing and all kinds of wonderful live stream stuff, social media. Joseph, obviously, who's playing, is always spectacular, and Carly, thank you this morning. I want to thank you all just for being here and joining us this morning. It's been lovely to have you all here and to be part of this important ritual. Please watch your weekly email newsletter, and if you don't get it, please let me know. I want to be sure that you get that. There's lunch after the service for a $5 donation. I think Zoltan is back there creating something amazing, so to give him a thanks as well. And if it's your first time here, just eat. Don't worry about the donation. It's what we invite you to do. No, thank you. As always, thank you, CJ. After lunch, there'll be a social justice meeting with our special guest, Joseph, and I will not pronounce his last name, the Yes Institute Executive Director. I encourage you to come and hear what he has to say and learn about the Yes Institute. It'll be across the breezeway in the Emerson Room. As is the case, moving on to the next announcement. As is the case, is a tradition here in this congregation to do something to help the community during Christmas or holiday or solstice or Hanukkah or any of those holidays. So this year we're going to give to two organizations. And you can find that again on the back of your order service, Chainless Change and Bridge to Hope. The specific things that they're in need of, you can look there. Chainless Change, generally they're in need of toiletries and underwear. At Bridge to Hope, more food products, non-perishable food items. But you can see this list there. And if you could pick them up during all the Sundays in December, and put them under the tree, we will be sure that they get them. They are happy that we are involved in that. Our young people are coming back in. Look at that. There they are. Hello. Hi. All right. Tomorrow night, there's a play called Letters from Anne and Frank. Anne and Martin. Anne and Martin. And we're part of that. We helped sponsor this traveling production, which combines voices of Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. If you're interested, there's some brochures in the back. After the performance, there'll be a discussion from the audience and a dessert reception. On Wednesday night, so a few nights from now, we'll have our Blue Christmas service. Many approach this time of year with trepidation, maybe not entirely happy. Maybe they've had someone pass away in their lives. And so we'll have a Blue Christmas service for people who need a little time for peace during this very hectic time of the year. Next week, I don't know that I can even describe to you what next week is going to be. It's our Christmas pageant. And as you can see on the slide here, there are a number of things going on there. Puppets and videos and music, and really, try to be here. It will be amazing. And after the service, after it's over, I will be, as I mentioned earlier, having lunch with those of you who are interested in talking about membership. And then after that, we'll be continuing our series on world religions, and we'll be having Harold Moreira. And he'll be talking about a different kind of Christian religion. And you can come and hear about it. It's very interesting. Online and not creedal, somewhat similar to what we have here, but different. And you can come and hear what he's been doing. A lot of young people are involved in this. So, all right, those are the announcements. And I need to borrow something from you, if I could. I have some closing words. And these were written by Unitarian, Universalist, and Wisdom Seeker, Heather Plett. You are the ones who live wholeheartedly and creatively. You are the ones who reach past the known to hold that which is limited, which is liminal, nebulous and layered with complexity. Whenever you do this hard and holy work, whenever you show up with your hands trembling and your heart fluttering, may you know you are not alone, and that you have what you need for this moment. May you remember that we here are woven together, and may you trust that you can lean into the container that is both mystery and this community to hold you as you move through this time. Now, friends, if you will stand, and I encourage you to greet each other, especially people you don't know, let us build this community of love. And Joseph?